Hey folks, we're back. We've got Dan and we got Simon, and this is Show and Tell. Okay, this week we are talking about the exciting subject of OEM wheels. Yeah, that's right. Original equipment manufacturing wheels. I'm assuming that's what OEM stands for. I've always what I thought it is. Dan, can you correct me if I'm wrong?
No, I think you're right. I don't know if it's manufacturing or manufacturer.
Yeah. There we are. So they're great source of interesting wheels because they're cheap often. So you can get some nice, cool looking aftermarket wheels relatively inexpensively.
And superb quality.
Yes. Always, generally always a good quality. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick some of our favorites and some of our favorite applications where people have stuck them on something weird, and just pick out some of the best, I think.
Mostly the reasons that they're good quality is because that obviously manufacturers don't make their own wheels, so they get the name brand folks to make them for you. So a lot of factory wheels are made by Ronal or BBS or etc. Borbet. So you'll find that a lot of Volkswagen wheels are Borbet, for example. The atypical BBS RS was it was a factory wheel at one point.
Yeah. I was going to say that's almost off the table, but yeah, I guess the most legendary of all. There's two legendary OEM wheels, which is the BBS RS and the Porsche Fuchs. So they're not completely off the table because I'm sure we can find some nice usage of them. Fuchs.
They are called Fuchs because I used to work with a company who made Fuchs oil in Germany, and the representative always corrected us on how we said it.
Well, he was wrong.
He was German.
Well,
I stand by my point.
Germans are always wrong.
No, they're not.
History shows us this.
Oh, good. Don't you hang your head, Simon. We know what you're about. Right. So who wants to pick their... I do it in a round robin way. So Simon, pick a wheel. Tell us about it.
I have mentioned this before in a podcast, I think, but there's a Daimler wheel that I saw on a hearse. It's
bringing the mood up from the Germans. Talking about hearses.
Listen, it's such a good wheel. It's like a big sort of what you might call like a monoblock type thing. I mean, it could be a huge hubcap, but it's also got machined bits. I don't know if you've got pictures of it, but
there'd be some magic.
Yeah,
they'll be here.
That's it. It's a flipping good looking wheel, and I love it. 19-inch, came on the Daimler Speed 8 or something, Super 8. Like last of the Daimlers ever, 2008, 2009. It's just such a good looking wheel, and I think it'd go on a slab-sided things. Look good on a Lexus or a Previa.
Most people won't even know that vehicle, let alone that wheel.
Yeah,
Daimlers are kind of like disappeared into obscurity by the 2000s.
Oh, I bet a picture of one will appear now.
Yeah, thereabouts. Look at that magic, actual internet magic. Yeah, I had a look for these when you first told. Simon has shared these wheels with us once or twice before, and I've searched for them before, and they are definitely original equipment. They are also vanishingly rare.
They are.
I think they only made about 30 cars, but they are available to purchase, and they do turn up. I have seen them for sale.
Yeah. Why haven't you got a set? Stash them away somewhere.
I haven't got a car for them, really. So
what does it matter? What has that got to do with anything? The number of sets of wheels that I've bought and then built a car around.
When I say they're cheap, they're not cheap enough to just have in a corner of the garage.
Okay, fair play. What PCD are these? You know?
I guess they're 5x120.
Lovely.
Is that Jaguar?
Yeah,
from the BMW Jaguar era.
Yeah.
Awesome. I wonder if you could get some adapters for 5x130.
I would imagine.
Right, Dan, here's something.
So there's a wheel that I've liked for ages, ever since I've seen it, and it has such a good potential for usage, and it's the wheel off of I think it's the first generation Citroen C3 Picasso.
Ooh,
which is kind of a left field choice
This-
until you see a picture of it, which will be here somewhere. It's a 16-inch, really dishy, unusual design. It's in 4x108, which is like Ford Fantastic.
Is it the 8, like the 4-spoke, 8-spoke?
No, kind of, but it almost looks like it could be like the successor to the classic Cloverleaf. It almost looks like a Cloverleaf.
Yeah.
I think that would look really, really good on a slammed Sierra or a Mondeo or something a little bit more modern in the Ford world. Even, and I forgot to suggest it when we were doing the $2,000 car, the Mark V Escort State Wagon that Simon suggested.
Yeah.
They look great color coded or in a crazy like day glow or pastel color. They're a really unusual looking wheel and dishy. I think there's something like, for some reason, Citroën have like crazily low offsets. So they're probably like an ET30 or something like that, and a 16 by 6.5. But the spokes go really quite far in, so they're quite a dishy wheel.
The French car manufacturers often have, particularly when they've got the first gen of anything they're newly releasing, have really interesting wheels. There's like a Renault Modus wheel that's awesome, like
Lego wheel.
Yeah, the Lego wheels, and they got one of the Citroens had wheels that looked like they should have been on a Nissan Cube because they were made out of cubes. I can't remember what car it is, but I will find it.
Oh, like it was like a waffle.
Yeah,
a waffle iron.
Yeah, and like it's just like, why are you doing that? But it's very cool. And even now, just searching for C3 Picasso wheels, and it brought up your one, the next generation Cloverleaf wheel, but it also got like a number of others that are just
There are
cool.
some wacky wheels. A lot of the new Nissan wheels are quite funky as well.
Yeah, it's quite cool. I like that. I saw earlier actually, sticking with the French. I saw one of the new Alpines, and that's got some interesting wheels on it as well. That had like some pretty cool kind of, I don't know. They're almost like a dartboard. They were bizarre. I like them. Yeah.
But as far as I know, nobody has used these C3 Picasso wheels on anything like slightly more old school and Fordy, or even something slightly modern. But
that's great. Like that's why I think like OEM, like raising the awareness of OEM wheels, but like making people like browse part catalogs and stuff, or at least keeping an eye out. Like there's stuff out there that's. I mean,
another application I thought would look good. They look really good on a 306 wagon, slam 306 wagon, or a 406 wagon.
Yeah, that would be good. I did an illustration with a Mark II Escort Estate with DS3 wheels on it. Yeah, and I've not seen that done, but that looked pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm going to pick one. So I ended up sort of going a bit more old school, and I sort of disappeared down a little bit of a rabbit hole with the Pontiac Trans Am, because literally every wheel that came on them out the factory is magnificent. Like
especially the turbos.
Whatever generation you pick, just pick a wheel. They're all amazing looking.
Turbo wheel is a stunner.
Yeah. They're so good.
It's like a dishy compomotive.
It is. Yeah.
And you got the snowflakes, and what was the other one? They're like
they do the twist.
Yeah, like the twist.
It's like a 5-spoke with extra slats.
They were just awesome, because that's the ones I was looking for originally. I was like, oh yeah, the 5-spoke with the slats. I remember those; they were pretty cool. And as they came off, I was like, oh yeah, of course they do the snowflake, and then they got that big dishy compomotive looking thing. And there's a couple of others. Even the modern ones have pretty cool looking wheels on them.
You tended to see they popped up a lot in the Volkswagen tuning world in the States about sort of 10 years ago. There was like a sudden boom of people using like Firebird and Town Car and adaptering on those sort of wheels.
That's where I first saw the Firebird, actually.
Mark III, Mark IV Golfs, that sort of thing. Because obviously everybody was going like 16s and low, whereas obviously now, because the cars have got bigger, everyone's like 18s and 19s. So it doesn't work so much, because obviously old school wheels were never that big. But when you were talking like Mark II, 3, 4 Golfs and Jettas and B3, B4 Passats and things like that, 16s worked really well.
Yeah, there was
that generation worked.
The five spoke slats on a Passat was where I actually first saw them. I don't even remember seeing them on a Trans Am first. I saw them on
because there was there was the Corvette boom as well, where everyone was putting like the saw blades and the salad shooters and stuff like that on Volkswagens.
never a bad look. Those wheels are,
No.
are top notch. All the Corvette
Absolutely.
wheels, pretty much.
Mr. Rose has got a set, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a lot of these, if you notice how on the original cars, they don't look anywhere near as good.
Yeah.
It's just
But you know what it is, and there's a lot of,
tires.
it's all about the tires.
Cheers.
Absolutely correct. It's all about putting the right profile tires on. There was a thread on Retro Rides, oh God, about 5, maybe 6 years ago, and it was I think it was an E30, or it might have been an E30. Oh, what was the generation of 3 Series that came after the E30?
E36.
E36, yeah. It might have been, I think it was a touring of either of those two, and it had some slightly later, or maybe the same period, 5 Series wheels on, but with much smaller tires on, and they look absolutely fantastic. But it's all about the tire. I think Bruce might have posted up a picture of it back, but it was a good 5 or 6 years ago. But it's all about the tire.
Yeah,
that's like
it can make or break a wheel. It really can. You can take a wheel that looks really cool, and if you put the wrong size tire on it and get the wrong fitment or the wrong starts on the car, it completely ruins it. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's like the X5 Bear Claw looks so good on like an E36 or something. That's a good looking wheel on certain cars, but on an X5, less so.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, that's definitely true. Simon, you got another one?
Oh, another one?
Do you have another one? You can pick one if you want.
Well, I don't know. I've been looking at different. No, I'm not. I'm just going to leave it. I like so many wheels.
I've got loads.
If you throw a car at me, then I'll tell you what wheels from another car could probably go on it. Oh, yeah, it would. No, I'm a big fella. I can handle a car. If you can dodge a car, you can dodge a ball.
Dip, duck, dive, and Dan.
Dan. Oh, hello. Cheers. The next one, the Celica Supra MA61 Iron Cross wheel.
Oh, they're legends.
Which is another sort of old school favourite.
Also a Lotus wheel.
Also a Lotus wheel, bizarrely. It was put on the XLs. Was it the facelift XL?
Yeah.
When they started having like the plasticky body kit. Yeah. They started like trying to update them a bit for early 90s, I want to say, late 80s.
Late 80s, I'd say. But that's a classic wheel.
It works on a lot of cars, popular fitment 4111 4.3. I think it's like +8 offset in 14x7, so fits a lot of cars. I have a set stashed away that I will probably never do anything with. And I have used sets in the past as well. I've had quite a few sets of those.
It's a thing worth noting, actually. Keep an eye on, if you're looking at OEM wheels, keep an eye on your measurements and your spigot rings or requirement for center bores and all of that kind of stuff, because
you don't need spigot rings if you PCD.
If you get the PCD right, you don't need the spigot rings. But you do kind of sometimes see a wheel that's perfectly made for a particular car, and you think, I'll get a set, and then you get them and you put them on your car and you realize that nothing's going to fit, because they're made very specifically. They're not even like aftermarket that might go on a range of cars. They're like, it's going on this car. And usually everything can be solved, but I have Lotus wheels from an XL for the Datsun, and they've been split into split rims because they're awesome. And the center bore is not, or was not, big enough, so things had to be done. It wasn't just a case of, the PCD is right, and I just throw these on there, because the offset was fine as well. The width was basically all right, but the center bore was a real problem. And I've had others where you pick them up and you stick them on and you find like the offset is just really weird because of the way that they made the wheel. Like the 996, it's almost like front wheel drive offsets on it.
Porsche offsets, they're insane.
Yeah, they're such
absolutely
a weird. So
like
I was like
huge ETs, aren't they? Like ET60 and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
That's why when they put them on like Golfs or even Corsas and stuff, they use a really thick adapter on a 9-inch wide wheel. Like, what? How is that possible?
At least that means you can get a Porsche wheel in a relatively small space, because they're not ridiculously high. I mean, conversely, as I was saying earlier with those C3 Picasso wheels, the French guys tend to use really low offsets. Like when I put the 3007 17-inch by 7.5 steels on my old Peugeot partner. They were like 7.5-inch wide and ET27. Now you're not going to get that under a lot of alternative manufacturers' cars, which use the same PCD. So
Yeah.
I mean, you've tried putting them on a Ford, you're probably not going to get them under an arch of a Mark III Escort, for example. It's going to be hanging right out.
So yeah, I think at some point in the future we will have a little Retro Rides tech video about wheel fitments and ETs and how to find the best best for your car, because it is specific obviously to car. So there's a lot of very, very nice wheels and we can't necessarily fit them to our particular vehicles. Okay, I'm gonna follow up Dan's with a modern car, which is the electric Mini.
Oh,
Yes,
crazy wheels.
Awesome wheels.
didn't I post something about one of those the other week?
You did post about them, but I didn't steal them from you. I was on holiday in Wales, and there was an electric Mini parked up charging, and I was like, "Oh, it's an electric Mini. Ooh, look at those wheels!" And so
They're crazy.
Yeah.
They're really, really good.
They're some wild wheels.
And like mad asymmetric, like almost like a disc with a hole and a line around it. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it's like a one spoke.
There's actually a lot of quite like ugly electric car wheels that, when put in another context, work really well.
Yeah.
You see like some of the crazy sizes of the BMW i3 wheels are mad. I know we're talking about wheels, but the tire sizes on some of those, they do a small i3 and it's got like 155 30 18s on it from the factory or something.
I think they're 5 by 19 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like really weird.
That's a strange size. Awesome.
I know, it's madness.
Awesome. Right. Go on, Dan, give us another honourable mention and go
well, I've thrown this out, and you'll see that in the files, where the shared files, I've thrown an example of one of my own cars. Is there an argument to say that a slot mag is an OEM wheel
on a scimitar? Yeah.
I mean, it's a Triumph TR5.
I don't. Yeah. I think that's just a common modification. TVRs, Lotus Breeze,
TVR.
So you could argue. I mean, obviously, there were aftermarket slot mags in different sizes than the OEMs, but I've put scimitar slot mags on my old Laurel, for example. So I mean, that is one of those wheels that works on a lot of things. And an interesting thought came into my head when I was thinking about proposing these. You know how I'm of the opinion that I really don't like BBS RSs because they're a too safe choice. They're a good looking wheel and they work on everything, and that's why I don't like them, because it's kind of almost a lazy choice. People don't get inspirational enough or creative enough when choosing their wheels, much in the same way that Mr. Hinks doesn't like mini lights for the same kind of reason. So many classic Fords have them. They're too much of a safe choice, and I think you guys are generally in agreement with it. Why doesn't that argument apply to slot mags?
Because they're awesome, and I have a set.
Yeah, but you could apply the same, but you could apply that same argument. You see what I'm saying?
I think they're not as ubiquitous now. I think that if you'd have said that maybe in the mid to late 80s, early 90s, you're going, oh, everything's on bloody slot mags. Whereas when like this scene was evolving, everything was on BBS RS, and everything in the Ford scene was on mini lights. I mean, I wrote an article for Classic Ford magazine. Geez, don't want to even think about how long ago that was, 14 years ago, something like that, about choosing other wheels for your Ford, because like literally for the last
for God's sake, people choose a different wheel for your Ford. For
the last 3 months, almost everything that had been featured in the magazine was on mini lights of some sort, or the original steels. But sometimes that is the mark of a scene. As you say, like the BBS RS is an easy choice because it looks good. I mean, I was even sort of contemplating them for Sonic previously, just because it's going to look good. It takes a lot of the effort out of it, and you can definitely get it in the size you want, because.
And that's why I don't like them.
Yeah, but that's kind of, I can understand why people do it, because. No, it's going to look good. You can get the size you want, and they're probably not going to be crazy expensive unless you're going for the ridiculously rare kind of 3-piece, and all the shiny bits on them. But that having been said, there are better choices in every single case where a BBS RS has been used pretty much. There's a few, maybe not, but 9 times out of 10.
Not a better choice, a more original choice.
A more original choice.
In the end, the BBS might actually look better, but it doesn't have the same sort of cool. And I think going back to the slot mags on things, they're just really retro. They can take a different look to a car. They just look great. I've got 2 sets at the moment. Yeah. Nice.
Right. Okay. We are fast running out of time. I'm going to throw one last thing in, which is the Dodge Viper 3 spokes. I'm just throwing that out there as a thing. Just a thing that exists.
Yeah.
And I think they would look good on a Porsche 996. So that's all I'm saying. I have no idea how they'd
Okay, that's left field.
Yeah, I did a Photoshop a little while ago, which I'm not sharing because.
Did you include that? You didn't? Did you think about the offsets when you did that?
No, not at all.
You'd end up with an RWB kit on it for that.
Yeah, yeah, the crazy white. Right, quick fire, one each. Pick a car and a wheel combo, preferably one you've already seen, so I can share a picture of it. That you like using OEM wheels. Simon.
I've actually in my things I sent through, I included some cars that belong to people here, and I put Dan's Honda in there with Jeep wheels.
God damn it! You've beaten me to I was going to whore out my own car.
You can't pick your own car, right?
I take it. No,
No. That's fine. It saves me being altruistic.
We should pick each other's. You could someone pick one of mine.
No, they're awful. Right. No, they're lovely. Dan, go.
I'm stuck now, and I've stolen my thunder.
Toyota Cressida or Lotus. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
One of mine, yeah. That became like a go-to thing after that. Yeah, there was like a few that ended up with them. But so yeah, that's cool.
I'm gonna pick the Polo 6N with the Lincoln Town car wheels because it's the best use of an alternative wheel I have ever seen.
I'll tell you what I'm going to pick because I stole the idea to do to copy onto my now defunct Mark II Jetta Golf estate project, and still have the adapters for, and we'll probably never use them. So if somebody wants to do this, it's Hummer H2 wheels on a Volkswagen. Somebody did H2 wheels on a Mark IV Golf and painted it in Harlequin colours.
Nice.
That sounds
nice. Good. Awesome. Right. On that note, we will go to the news and stuff, and we'll be back with our Heroes of the Week.
News.
Welcome to Casual Friday in the news desk. First up, we have got to be very quick because those guys went on too long and those guys are going to go on too long as well. Bizzarini 5300 GT is back in production. It's going to be 24 hand-built cars. So if you have an infinite amount of money, the link below is for you. Classic Touring Car Racing Championship returned for their first round at Silverstone last weekend. Videos are online. Watch below. Super Tourers, Classic Touring Cars, the Mini Race was spectacular. Brilliant stuff. Volkswagen happened, but we've got no idea who won what because they don't want to publish it. Okay. And the Hot Wheel Legends Tour is back for 2022. And that is always a good time. Lots of interesting stuff comes out and gets nominated for that. So again, links below. And now it's time to go back to those guys. Double quick time. Oh, that was the news. Exciting, wasn't it?
I liked it.
Yeah, it's good news. It's good. And now, Heroes of the Week. Let's start with Dan.
Oh.
No, you should be pleased. It's like, yeah, Heroes.
Hooray! It's me, Heroes of the Week.
Go, Dan.
Go, Dan. Who you got? I
stumbled, it being in my group of ups. Who don't know, I own a Volkswagen Up. I also own a store, the Upgrade House. Which caters for Upgrade House. Yeah, not Up House. Baby keeps getting it wrong.
And not Up Garage.
Not Up Garage.
No.
Although to be mistaken for an Up Garage is quite as my store that sells things for ups and CIPs and CDOs. Anyway, I'm moving
Link
those
will be
circuits.
below.
Link below. Yes. Where's my QR code? One of the guys on one of the Facebook pages for ups had a rendering done of his up, but it's not a rendering, it's hand drawn, and with no slight against Mr. Coulson here at all. It's rare now. A lot of people are moving towards the CGI rendering style of things, so it's nice to see the old school arts of actually picking up pencils and pens and markers and things like that is still alive. So I found the guy who you've got one there. I found the guy who did the artwork for him. It's a chap called Diego Floridi. There will be a link to his Instagram on the page somewhere. Go and check his artwork out. It's very, very good. And like I said, it's good to see. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen Chip Foose and lots of other people who are still, cranking out hand-drawn renderings and illustrations. It's just nice to see that artwork is still alive. That craft is still alive.
Yeah,
so he's my hero of the week. He does very, very almost photorealistic commissions of people's cars.
He puts all the shadows in and stuff. I know his work, and like all the reflections of whatever it is, even though you can't see the buildings in them, you can see the reflections. It's so precise.
Yeah,
so precise.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Right, Simon.
Yes.
Who's your hero this week?
Oh, hero of the week. Yeah. Having come back from Volkswagen, having come back from Volkswagen, I found the name Russell Ritchie cropping up a few times. Now, I think you know who he is, don't you?
Yeah, he gave us a car for the first year of Retro Roads Weekend, and it's incredible.
Yeah. So
lovely chap. Lovely chap.
I was a bit confused. When the Grand National Roadshow Show had their Volkswagen room and all their Volkswagen stuff, which, as you know, I thought was super cool. The original cow looker was there, the one off the front cover of Hot VWs, being headlight measurement and all that. But it was restored by Trailer Queen Restorations, who were like based in the UK and the South Coast. And I thought, how did an iconic cow looker get restored by a company in the UK, by Gavin at Trailer Queen Restorations? And then it kind of came together a bit more when it was then not at the Grand National Roadshow Show, but in the main hall of Volkswagen when we walked in, and it's just sitting there. It's like, it's in the UK.
The first car, wasn't it?
It's the most publicised one, isn't it? I'm sure it was one of a few at the time, but it's the one on the cover. It's the one that allegedly kick-started the movement worldwide, and it felt really special to be right next to it. I was like, there it is. But yeah, it now lives in the UK, in Scotland, I think, and it belongs to Russell Ritchie, who has allegedly a warehouse full of Volkswagen legends. I think he started with gassers, some Volkswagen gassers, and now he's collecting some sort of back to 89 stuff. And the original, it's got the original UK cow looker, which is probably the Street Machine one, I'd say, is the first
Red Burnham one that he had at Retro Roads Weekend.
That's right. Yeah.
Lovely
and
sound.
then he's just got loads of stuff, and he's just bought a friend of mine's fastback as well. So that's, I mean, it's a bit of a weird thing, but my friend Doug, who's just sold this fastback, when he told people who bought it, people were like, "Oh, that'll be all right then." Oh, it was, it's kind of like a really cool thing to know that it'd be all right. So he's my hero of the week, Russell Ritchie, a guy who hasn't bought a load of Lamborghinis, but is buying all the cool Volkswagens.
A very worthy hero of the week. Right, very briefly, my hero of the week is someone that applied for the Retro Rides Weekender deadline display.
Mm-hmm.
So the displays are still open. So, hit up the link below if you wish to show your car in any of the paddocks or come into the retro parking. The retro parking is a booking, not an application. So you're pre-approved as long as your car is pre-2000. Anyway.
And don't forget the red room is for red cars.
Yes, the red room is for red cars. Just a reminder, red room.
What if I'm colorblind?
Quite you. And
just checking.
You see the cars come in and you kind of like checking them out to see what's come through. And this guy called Toby Wright applied for the deadline display with his MG midget. Good, we have MG midgets around the place.
Nice.
He's decided over the winter to stick an RB25 Skyline turbo engine in his midget. It's mostly in his midget, to be fair.
RB25
Yeah,
midget.
A straight
Yeah.
6 engine.
Yeah,
A big
it-
straight 6 engine.
it's definitely more engine than car.
In a little slopey bonnet.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Have you got a picture?
I might share one, but anyway,
I want to see it.
might wait until the show. He
What
is my hero of the week, yeah, that's a good little collection, I think.
I'm going to go to that show. When is it?
It is May 21st and 22nd. Still
Where?
can't remember the date very well.
Where is it?
It's at Goodwood Circuit. You can camp, and there's all sorts of shenanigans. It's going to be a delight. We're buying flags. How delightful. Right. That's us. You should like and subscribe, because otherwise we're going to stop doing these. So you should definitely do
And
that.
hit the bell button and all
And
those
hit the
other
bell
things.
button.
I don't know.
And
I've never hit a bell button, to be honest.
No, it's a good look. Anyway,
But everyone out there should.
yes,
Even though we've never done it, they definitely should.
do as we say.
Do it.
Now, go away. Bye.